Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, wow. You have sent us an absolute mountain of material this week on EA Sports FC26. We've got pitch notes, deep dive summaries, feedback updates, the full feature list.
Yeah, it's a lot. Not just tweaks. This looks like a pretty major rethink of the whole structure.
Exactly. We've got sources covering Ultimate Team, clubs, career mode updates, gameplay mechanics, everything.
So our mission today, really, is to cut through all that noise for you, give you the clear, analytical picture of what you really need to know, the essential changes.
And the big theme, the slogan they keep using is, "The club is yours," which sounds promising, right? Suggests more player control, more agency.
That's the promise anyway, whether it's competitive play or wanting something more realistic.
Okay, let's unpack that then. Where exactly does that agency show up?
Well, before we even get onto the pitch, let's just nail down the dates, the basics. Standard game launch is coming Sep 25. Simple enough.
Right. But there's the early access in there for the keen ones.
Yeah, the Ultimate Edition. That gets you up to 7 days early access, meaning you could be playing from September 19th.
And the pre-order bonuses for that edition, they look pretty geared towards giving those early players a head start, especially in FUT.
Oh, absolutely. You get 6,000 FC points, though, important note, they're spread over 2 months, not all at once.
Okay.
And it's 3,500 points if you're on Nintendo Switch, just to be precise. But the real kicker for Ultimate Team players is the extra EVO slot.
Right. Let's clarify that. An EVO slot, evolution slot. Why is getting an extra one so significant right at the start?
Okay, so an EVO slot lets you take a lower-rated player and level them up significantly. You customize their attributes, their play styles, basically transform them into a unique, potentially top-tier player for your club.
So it's about building unique players rather than just buying the best ones off the market.
Exactly. It's huge for sculpting your team identity early on. Getting 2 slots immediately doubles your options, your flexibility right from day one. Oh, and you get the Season 1 Premium Pass, too.
Okay, that makes sense. Now let's move from the store on to the actual pitch. The sources are shouting about overhauled gameplay and, crucially, powered by community feedback. We hear that phrase a lot.
We do.
But what specifically are they saying the community pushed them to change this time?
Well, the feedback seems to have focused on sort of 2 main things: how the game feels and how smart it is. So responsiveness and fidelity.
Okay.
They're specifically mentioning more responsive dribbling, sharper movement, players feeling more explosive. The AI positioning is meant to be smarter, too.
And goalkeepers, often a point of contention.
Yeah, keepers, too. Improved positioning, better animations, trying to make them feel less robotic, more, naturally reactive. Plus, structurally, they've added new play styles and player roles, which sort of dictates how the AI behaves based on your tactics.
Right, but here's the really big one. The structural shift that jumps out from all the sources. They haven't just tweaked things, have they? They've introduced 2 completely separate gameplay presets. Play your way.
This is it. This is probably the most fundamental change we need to talk about. It feels like they've finally addressed that long-running tension, between the super competitive online players and the folks who just want a realistic simulation.
The FUT crowd versus the career mode crowd, essentially.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
FC26 is formally separating them.
Yeah.
You choose. Okay, let's break that down. Preset 1, competitive. Aimed at Ultimate Team, clubs, head-to-head stuff. What's the feel here? Competitive is all about speed and direct action. Faster passing, maybe less strict positional play. A key detail is smarter keeper rebounds designed to keep the ball in play, create more follow-up chances.
So more goals, more action, less randomness.
Pretty much. It prioritizes direct player control, skill moves. It's the more arcadey engine, if you like, built for online battles. And then preset 2, authentic, this is the flip side, for career mode offline play. The simulation fans. Exactly. Authentic is where the simulation focus lies. Defenders are meant to be more positionally disciplined, hold their shape better. Things like corner success rates are tuned down to be more realistic.
Goalmouth scrambles, too, they mentioned.
Yeah, more lifelike chaos in the box, apparently.
The big implication here is single-player fans don't have to put up with gameplay balanced purely for online competition anymore. You pick the feel you want for the mode you're playing.
That really does tie back to that club is yours theme, giving you that core choice. Okay. Shifting from the feel of play to the players themselves. The new progression system. Archetypes. For clubs and player career. Is this just a fancy word for classes?
Well, the sources suggest it's a bit deeper, not just generic stack grinding like before. These archetypes are apparently inspired by footballing greats.
Okay.
The idea is to bring more distinctiveness, maybe even some limitations of how you build your player, force specialization.
Right. Can you walk us through that? Say, I want to be a big target man. How does that work now?
Okay, so first you pick your base archetype, maybe target man, maybe playmaker, destroyer, whatever. Then as you play, you earn archetype XP.
That XP upgrades attributes specific to that style. So for a target man, maybe strength, heading, hold-up play, and crucially, you unlock archetype perks.
Perks, like unique abilities.
Yeah, unique in-game effects tied to that archetype. So your target man won't just have high stats, they should feel different. Their animations, how they shield the ball, their presence, it should be distinct from, say, a nimble playmaker, even if their overall rating ends up similar.
Okay, so real player identity customization. That sounds interesting. Let's switch to manager career. Manager live challenges. What's the idea here? Injecting some variety.
Exactly that. Tackling the potential monotony of a long season. These are scenarios, some based on real-world situations, some alternate timelines.
How long do they take?
They can range from, like, a few minutes, maybe win a tough derby, up to spanning multiple seasons if it's a dynasty-building challenge. It just breaks up that cycle of play match, advance week, play match.
And the rewards seem pretty cool. Using icons and heroes in your current team. That's a big carrot for career mode players.
It really is.
Yeah.
Beyond the usual season points or vanity items, getting legendary players into your modern squad, that's a huge draw. But honestly, the biggest change in manager career, the one that really stands out in the sources, it's the manager market.
Ah, yes. Why is this such a potential game changer for the realism fans?
Because, apparently, for the first time, when managers move clubs in your save, the tactics of that club actually change over time.
Wait, really? So if, say, Klopp leaves Liverpool and they hire a defensive coach, Liverpool will actually start playing differently, not just cosmetically.
That's what the sources claim. The AI team adapts its formation, its pressing style, player roles. It's meant to be a visible shift over weeks and months.
Wow. Okay, that forces you to constantly rescout opponents mid-season, doesn't it? You can't just rely on knowing how Liverpool usually play.
Precisely. It adds a layer of dynamic realism, that unpredictability that was, frankly, missing before. It could totally change the feel of long-term saves.
Yeah, that sounds like a massive improvement for immersion. Okay, let's swing back to the competitive side. Ultimate Team. Looks like they're adding more ways to actually compete.
Yeah, variety seems key. They've added tournaments quick, 4-round knockout cups, good for a short burst of competition.
Okay.
Then there are live events, which are themed competitions running through the season, and bounties.
Bounties, what are those? Like extra objectives?
Basically, yeah, smaller, targeted objectives designed to help you earn extra rewards and, like, speed up your weekly progress. Helps keep things feeling rewarding, even if you're not grinding rivals constantly.
And it sounds like they're finally addressing that feeling. You know, that weekend league can be pretty brutal if you're not an elite player.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a huge community pain point they're tackling. They're introducing challenges. It's described as a new second-tier weekend competition designed for players in lower divisions. So it gives those players a proper, structured, high-stakes weekend tournament, but against opponents closer to their own skill level. Makes it more accessible.
That makes a lot of sense. Broadens the competitive base. Now, clubs mode. Dynamic live events sound interesting, but the affiliation thing, that's the big one.
Oh, absolutely. This has been requested for years. Finally, you can be affiliated with up to 3 clubs simultaneously.
3. Wow, that solves a lot of headaches for friend groups, doesn't it?
Totally. Huge social flexibility. You can switch between teams for different nights, join different communities, try out different squads, without having to constantly leave and rejoin clubs. It's a massive quality of life improvement.
Yeah, I can see that being very popular. And a quick note, a revamped BA goalkeeper system for Clubs Rush. Yeah, just a tweak acknowledging that playing keeper in the faster, more chaotic Rush mode needed its own tailored system to feel, effective and fun.
Got it. Okay, wrapping up with scale and authenticity. The numbers are always big. 20,000 plus players, 750 plus clubs, 120 plus stadiums, 35 plus leagues. Unrivaled authenticity. But beyond the list, what's the strategic play of the licenses? Well, the key is exclusivity, isn't it? FC26 is still the only place you can play the official UEFA Champions League, Europa League.
And the CONMEBOL Libertadores down in South America.
Exactly. Holding those exclusive rights to the biggest continental club competitions is a massive moat against any potential competitors.
And alongside the big men's leagues like the Premier League, Bundesliga, Aluja, the continued expansion in women's football seems crucial to that unrivaled claim now.
Absolutely. They list the Frauen-Bundesliga, Liga F in Spain, the WSL in England, D1 Arkema in France, the NWSL in the US, and importantly, the UEFA Women's Champions League.
So it's not just tokenism, it's becoming a really comprehensive offering.
Right. It reflects the reality of global football now, and it really bolsters that authenticity argument.
Okay, so let's bring it all together. Tying back to that club is yours idea, the biggest changes seem to be that fundamental split, competitive versus authentic gameplay, and the deep customization offered by the new archetype system. So what does this really mean for you, the listener, when you pick up the controller?
I think it means, well, that old conflict is kind of resolved. The game isn't trying to force one single experience on everyone anymore.
Yeah.
You actively choose. Do you want that sim experience in authentic? Or the faster, online-focused, competitive feel? The philosophy seems to be about respecting your time and how you want to play. It really does lean into that "the club is yours" tagline.
Yeah, it feels like a split personality, but in a good way. Realism on one side, you see that in the manager market changes, the authentic mode, and then community-driven competition on the other, the challengers tier, the club's affiliations.
It suggests maybe a maturity, acknowledging that the player base isn't monolithic. They want different things.
So thinking about that player power, especially with archetypes, here's a final thought for you to chew on.
Okay.
Given these new archetypes, inspired by footballing greats with unique perks, which single archetype, based on your favorite icon, past or present, do you think could potentially break the game? What combination of traits and perks would be just unstoppable? Think about that power fantasy they've just handed you.